Hi everyone, Chris Nansky here with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching with your Mind of a Champion tip of the week. It's the fall of 1980. My high school football team, the Oconomowoc, Wisconsin Raccoons, are getting ready to play the Hartford Orioles. You probably remember this game. It was huge in the annals of high school football in Wisconsin. Anyway, both teams are undefeated at 6-0, and whoever wins this game is in the driver's seat for the conference championship, and we have them at home. And it's minutes before kickoff, and my teammates and I are all up above the stadium in this small, dingy room called the team room. It's dark, it's quiet, and everybody is getting ready mentally for the big game. They're either sitting quietly or pacing nervously back and forth. And finally, our head coach comes into the room and delivers the most amazing pregame speech ever, and the room erupts in enthusiasm. Guys are hitting each other over the shoulders, over the shoulder pads with their fists. They're headbutting each other. They're yelling and spittles coming out of their mouth. We're like a frenzied group of wild dogs. And now it's my job as the team captain to lead everyone onto the field. And I'm terrified, and it has nothing to do about football. Because like I said, we're up above the stadium, and now what I have to do is lead the team by negotiating about 40 steps down onto the playing field. Have you ever walked on cement and cleats? It's like being on ice skates, and I'm no hockey player. So I start to go down the stairs, white-knuckling the bar, and guess what happens? Absolutely nothing. Didn't fall at all. Nothing to overcome. But I had one obstacle yet in front of me. You see, the cheerleaders had created this thing called a run-through. It was 8 feet high, 6 feet wide, this wooden frame, and they had this butcher paper across, and it said, "Hartford is for the birds." And what they tell me is that when they say go, that I'm supposed to run through this paper and break through. And when I do that, the band's going to start playing and the crowd's going to start cheering. So I'm fired up, ready to rock, and they tell me to go. And just like they said, bam, I bust through, the band starts playing, the crowd starts cheering. But I didn't notice one thing. You see, there was a drainage ditch right at the edge of the field. And as soon as I busted through that paper, my right foot caught. And boom, pretty soon I realized I'm parallel to the turf. You know how they say that your entire life can flash in front of your eyes in a moment? And all of a sudden I realize as I'm in midair, if I go down now, either one of two things are going to happen, and neither one is good. Either one, I'm going to fall and get trampled to death by my teammates, or number two, they're not going to notice me, and it's going to create like a 40-car pileup on the freeway. But then I hear a voice. You see, from the very beginning of my martial art training, my instructor taught me how to fall. He taught me how to fall backwards and how to fall to the side, how to fall forward, and he taught me how to tuck and roll. So in an instance, I hear tuck and roll, and I dip my right shoulder, I roll gracefully onto my back, pop up back on my feet, and begin my full sprint over to the end zone. And when I turned around to see all my teammates coming on the field, you know what I saw? Every one of them was doing a somersault as they came onto the field. Now, when I think about that, I think about two things. I think number one is when you lead with enthusiasm and conviction, people will follow. But number two, what really saved me that day was the fact I had prepared. You know, all those times on the martial art mat, falling and rolling and wondering, what the heck am I doing? Am I ever going to need this? But when the time came, I was prepared. So my question for you this week is, where do you have an opportunity to prepare? You know, oftentimes it's very easy for us to get in the malaise of each day's activity that leads into each week's activity. But what real leaders do is they pause and they take an objective view of where their life is and where their business is, and they see where there are areas of opportunity where they can take some action, prepare, so that when the opportunities arise, they're ready to go. So that's my challenge for you this week. Where do you have an opportunity to take a look at your life and business and set up a system, set up an activity, set up some action so you can be prepared when the opportunities arise? If you like this video and you found it useful, I'd encourage you to share, like, or comment below. And once again, this is Chris Nansky from Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the Mind of the Champion Tip of the Week.